is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
You have to play through tough times. It's inevitable that happens. You don't want to go through it. It's no fun, but it happens to everybody. And I'm confident that we'll bounce back and we'll be fine.
We're going to come out and pitch better than that, obviously, and get back to doing what got us to this point in general as a team. Going out there, pitching well, playing hard, and we'll be fine.
We got to take care of ourselves and get out there and try to win tomorrow. So we're not looking at who's behind us, and just got to go out there and play the game the right way.
Are those storm clouds gathering over Progressive Field, or are they moving off? We're about to find out as the Indians try to avoid being swept at home by the Minnesota Twins here at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Minnesota has beaten the Indians at every turn. And get this, Arch. The Twins have a slugging percentage against the rest of baseball that's .416. It's 100 points higher this year against the Cleveland Indians.
Well, they have hit the ball all over the ballpark, and one culprit is Joe Mauer. Now, he's always had good numbers against the Indians, but in this series, 10 for 15, 7 extra base hit, a homer, a triple, 5 doubles. He scored 8 runs. He has 6 RBIs, and it doesn't matter. He's taken it all over the field. And the Twins themselves, they have had some kind of series to this point. 26 extra base hits. That's most by Twins and Senators, and the most against the Indians in a 4-game series, and we still have 1 game to play. So you can see the 48 hits, 13 doubles. I don't know what the Indians have to do. They better locate it a little bit better, or if they're going to continue to hit line drives, hope it goes at the defense.
Rajay Davis said after the ball game last night, and this too shall pass. But Mike Clevenger gets the ball for the Tribe today, and if they're going to get out of this, they need him to go out and pitch well.
Well, they do. They need a good start is what they need. At least 6 innings from a starter. And, are you going to rely on Clevenger to do it? He's pitched well down in AAA. We've seen him a couple stints up here at the big league level, but he's got a tough task at hand to go against this Minnesota Twins offense. Hopefully he can step up. He's going to face Hector Santiago, the left-hander, making his first start. He was 10-4 with the Angels, just coming over to Minnesota here in the last week. So we'll see what we're going to get. But the Indians are going to face a left-hander, and hopefully Clevenger can pitch well.
Can't fault the offense. They've been able to continue to swing the bats pretty well. When we come back, Andre Knott talks about Jose Ramirez, who's not only done it with the bat this year, but also with his glove. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Here at Progressive Field, first pitch coming your way shortly. Welcome into our Fox Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. The Tigers are keeping the pressure on the Tribe. They're now just 2 games back in those AL Central standings after extending their win streak to 8 games last night with a 2-1 win over the White Sox. They're back in action today, closing out their series. We'll keep you updated on that. First pitch for them coming up in about an hour. Also, the Kansas City Royals in action in Tampa Bay. We'll keep you posted on that as well. Also, a couple other games in the majors. Now we'll send it back out to Progressive Field with Rick and Matt. Guys.
All right, thanks, Ashley. The Minnesota Twins have absolutely taken it to Cleveland in this series to this point. They're trying to finish off a 4-game sweep. Standing in their way is really Mike Clevinger. He's the guy that has to try and go out and slow down these hot-hitting Minnesota batters who have hit everything in sight. I mean, they've got numbers in this series that are just eye-popping as far as what they've been able to do against arguably the best pitching staff in the American League. But it hasn't turned out that way to this point. But in the grand scheme of things, as the players indicated at the top of our telecast, these things happen during the course of the season. No one goes unscathed. The key is, can they bounce back? Can they, as Mike Napoli said, limit the tough times and turn this around quickly here as they head out on what will be an important road trip to New York and Washington?
The way you look at it, it's 3 straight losses. You don't look at the score or how bad they beat you up. I mean, they only count as 3 losses. You know, this has been a team that's, their pitching has been outstanding all year long. So that's one little hiccup, and everybody else looks bad, but they've been scoring runs. You look and take some positives out of there. They just have to shut down Minnesota for a while until their offense can get going.
Well, the Indians' offense has been very good, and the defense has been solid as well. One guy in particular is Jose Ramirez. With more on that, here's Andre Knott.
Well, if you're looking for a bright spot for the Indians, they hope it's Jose Ramirez. He still leads the league in batting average at home, and in this set, since we've been home, he's 13 of 31. A different type of week for him, though, because Juan Uribe was released earlier this week. Juan helped get Jose going in the spring, and he told me this morning he'll always miss him and always appreciate him, but the one good thing that's come out of it for Jose, he now has a position to play for the next 2 months of the season. He'll play third base, and many within the organization feels like he can get comfortable now and really take off as a third baseman. Will he play that position going forward after this season? No one knows, but they think he'll be a better player the rest of this year because he won't be bouncing around from position to position as this season continues.
Yeah, he's done a nice job wherever he has been this year defensively. So it's not an easy thing to do, but he's handled it very well for being such a young player.
Let's take a look at the lineup Mike Clevinger will face today for Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins. It's brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Brian Dozier will lead it off. Joe Mauer, he's only gone 10 for 15 in the series with 5 doubles. Max Kepler with 4 homers, bats third. Miguel Sano, Kenny Vargas, Eduardo Escobar in the middle. Robbie Grossman gets his first start. He'll bat 7th. Kurt Suzuki 8th, and Byron Buxton will make his first appearance in the series, batting 9th.
And our Honda starting pitcher, Mike Clevinger, getting called up from Columbus. He pitched very well down there. But his last major league appearance was July 5th against the Tigers. That came in relief. His last start was at the end of May against the Baltimore Orioles. So Clevinger 0-1 as a starter, 7.71 ERA. He's going to get a chance to go out there. He's going to face a very hot lineup, and hopefully he has his control working today. Let's set the defense for you, brought to you by Jeep. It's Geyer in left, Davis in center, Almonte in right. It's the right-handed hitting lineup today. Ramirez at third, Lindor in short, Kipnis is at second, Santana at first, Perez doing the catching.
Jim Reynolds will call the balls and strikes. Field and Culbert, the crew chief, is down at first. Toby Basner in for C.B. Buckner at second. Manny Gonzalez at third base. It was Jim Reynolds who ejected Mickey Callaway last night. And was hearing it from the Indians dugout on a number of occasions. We're ready to go as Mike Clevinger deals to Brian Dozier, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. So much for never having seen him before. Well, Dozier liked what he saw. He gave it a whack.
A high fastball. He'll swing at that all day long. He loves the high fastball. And they haven't fouled off many.
Tied him up. It's quickly 0-2. Off-speed pitch struck him out on 3 pitches.
A couple of high heaters, and then he throws the breaking ball and gets the strikeout. And there's a nice located slider. Check that pitch out on. There it is. Nice pitch. He had him out in front.
There's Joe Mauer. 10 for 15, 5 doubles, a triple, a home run in the series. Outside with the fastball, 1-1. Clevenger has more or less dominated at the AAA level. He's 11-1 on the year. His ERA is 3, and the only reason it's that high is because he's had basically 2 bad outings this year. He had a start not long ago against Pawtucket where he went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs. He had a start against, well, back in June he had a start where he went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs. I guess that's a bad start. And he had a start back in April where he went 4 1/3 and gave up 5. Every other one of his starts, you know, he's been pretty much spot on.
Well, that's a nice pitch that he's going to need today against the left-handers. That's a changeup. And the left-handers from Minnesota, what a job they have done in this series, hitting .448, 39 for 87.
2-2 pitch. Fastball inside. Mike's come out with good velocity here at the outset. And seems to be, for the most part at least, able to command it. Now the 3-2 to Mauer. And that's ball 4. The keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. A well-pitched game.
Period. There it is at the end. You're right. That's what the Indians need. They just need a well-pitched game, especially by a starter.
Here's Max Kepler. Once one up in the air. That's puzzling. Last night the Indians kept Kepler from hitting a home run, but he still had 2 hits and 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored.
The way he's been swinging it, he's doing you a favor right there.
That's just. If you're Paul Molitor, I mean, unless he put that on, you got to be wondering what.
Oh, he didn't put that on. Not the first inning, 3rd hitter. Ramirez is playing back. Kepler's just trying to, you know, get it going. Like I said, the way he's swinging the bat, continue to swing it.
Line drive, left center. And a sliding attempt by Geyer, but he couldn't come up with it. He'll throw to second, and they'll get Mauer on the force because Mauer lost track of the ball.
He sure did.
The Indians catch a huge break, 2 down.
He did the right thing. He was about 3/4 of the way to second base, but he didn't wait long enough to see if Geyer held on to the ball. Once it popped out, he started running back to first base. He just assumed he caught the ball. He didn't see it come out of the glove, so it's a break for the Indians. They get the force out at second.
It looked like Geyer did have it, but when he went to the ground, the ball popped out of his glove.
I think Mauer took his eye off it just a little too quickly.
So with 2 down, here's Miguel Sano.
Maybe that's a sign of a break right there, because instead of first and second and then Kepler getting a base hit on that ball, you get your second out and a man on first base.
Good fastball, paints the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Twins have their big guys back-to-back in the lineup today. Miguel Sano batting cleanup, and then Kenny Vargas right behind him. They haven't combined to do much with the bat in this series, but these are 2 guys that you wouldn't want to have to get into a bench clearing brawl. He went around, says home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's a look from the side. Boy, he caught a break. He didn't swing. He had a couple pitches like that last night that didn't go his way, but the home plate umpire Reynolds called it.
Miguel Sano stands in at 6'4", 262 pounds. The on-deck man Vargas, 6'5", almost 290.
Tag team, the 2 of them.
It's the left side of most offensive lines in the NFL. Here's a 1-2. And a throw, keeping Kepler close. Missed, and I'm not sure where the issue was. Maybe high, maybe. Let's take another look.
Well, that had to be high because it had plate.
Oh my. That's outside, full count. Mustard got his own boombox. Here is the 3-2. Kepler will be off and running at first. Hit in the air to left. Geyer shading his eyes, makes the play, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. The Indians are coming to bat. And from the Goodyear blimp hovering above this afternoon, the Indians starting lineup presented by Progressive. Rajai Davis in the leadoff spot. Jason Kipnis will hit second. Then it's Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli on a home run binge. He's gone deep in 5 straight. Carlos Santana, then Jose Ramirez. Brandon Guyer gets his first start as an Indian. Abe Almonte 8th. Roberto Perez batting 9th. Rajai cuts, fouls 1 back. He's 0 for 5 in the series.
Hector Santiago, the pitcher, is coming over from the Los Angeles Angels. He was traded August 1st on Monday for Ricky Nolasco and some cash. Spent time with the Angels from 2014 until the trade, and before that he was with the White Sox.
Rajai shoots 1 foul. They count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Check out the Hyundai starting pitcher's numbers. He's 10-4. Had a wonderful month of July where he won 6 starts. He was 6-0 in a 1.78 ERA, believe it or not. 5-2 on the road, 5-2 at home.
Upstairs with a breaking ball. The trade seemed a bit puzzling. Santiago and Nolasco trading
I think,
places.
you know, just a new environment for both pitchers.
As you pointed out, though, normally a guy that was on that kind of a roll wouldn't be traded.
Right, you wouldn't think so.
Maybe the Angels had said they'd they didn't feel like they were going anywhere with him, so maybe try something different, I guess.
Yeah, one of their left-handers came back from on the disabled list, and I don't know. You go 6-0 in 1 month, and it was the Red Sox he beat twice, and also the Rangers. A couple of good offenses, but
normally a guy gets on a roll like that and he gets traded to maybe a contender that's looking for a left-hander, not
I hear you,
to a last-place club.
But he has allowed 20 homers this year, but 16 have been solo.
9-pitch at bat for Rajai Davis as he's fighting him off left and right. Despite their American League worst record at 43-64, Minnesota's won 16 of their last 25, so they have been a different team.
Yes, they have. I mean, offensively, that's.
Rajai just flung the bat away as he popped it up. 1 down.
And let's set the Twins defense for you. It'll be Grossman in left field. Buxton is in center. Kepler over in right. At third is Sano. Escobar at short. Dozier at second. Vargas at first. Suzuki behind the plate.
Now here's Jason Kipnis. Kipnis, who in his career has batted .292 against the Twins, but they've done a good job of keeping him in check for the most part in the series. 2 for 12. But he just socked one to deep right center field. That's going to make it to the bullpens. He just woke up the Tribe's pen, and the Indians will play from in front. So much for keeping him in check. He just checked out. 18th home run of the season for Kip, a new career high.
It's the 21st home run, another solo shot. But the good thing is the Indians are on the board first. He just challenged with a fastball down and into Kipnis' nitro zone, and he gave it a long ride. It went up into the top bullpen. And there you'll see the shake of the head from Santiago, giving us order code red.
Francisco Lindor takes down an in ball one. Lindor, despite the fact that he's 0 for his last 6, has had a very good homestand, 10 out of 30. He just flipped a big old curveball and it drops in for a called strike.
Yeah, about 72 miles an hour.
In the air to right field, and Max Kepler will take care of that 2 down. Our great clip of the game, Mike Napoli has homered in 5 consecutive games.
A very nice streak. It's the second time he's done that in his career.
This one right here, though. Oh, yeah. It hasn't been just a home run a day either. During the 5-game streak, he's 9 for 18 overall.
This is his park. He loves to hit in this ballpark, just under 300.
Mike Napoli is one of 6 players in the American League between 27 and 30 home runs. Todd Frazier, Mark Trumbo lead the way with 30. Edwin Encarnacion with 29, then Josh Donaldson, Chris Davis, Napoli, and Nelson Cruz all with 27.
Yeah, he's. And I made a mistake because he's up over the 300 mark at home. That's 301 coming into today.
And he draws a base on balls to keep the inning alive now for Carlos Santana. Carlos' home field advantage shows you that Mike Napoli has a 3.01 home average. We just talked about it. 18 homers at home, tied with Chris Carter of Milwaukee.
Yeah. He's enjoyed his new home here for his very first year. No doubt about it.
Boy, you know, obviously you don't see Milwaukee this year, but you know, Chris Carter, there's a name you think about. Last year everybody was talking about him with Houston, and
well, he gets hot and he can hit the ball as far as anybody. And Milwaukee's a really good park to hit in.
Napoli takes off, and he's going to have himself a stolen base.
Yeah, he just go ahead and go on first movement. He guessed right. Napoli gets his 4th. He has not been caught this year. And you're just stealing it on the left-hander, saying, I'm going on first movement. You see, as soon as he left, Nap took off, peeks back in, steals it easily. Nice job.
And now Carlos Santana has a runner in scoring position with 2 down. In the air, center field, Buxton cruising back and makes the catch. Indians get on the board first. Jason Kipnis, a career best 18 home runs on the year. 1-0 Cleveland. Covering the bases with tires for superior performance all season long. Goodyear, more driven.
It's been with us all homestand. The Goodyear blimp. Some great shots.
That is the Goodyear ship Wingfoot 1.
Had a sunset. Was it yesterday? It was spectacular.
Kenny Vargas taking a strike. 0 for 5 in that first game of the series. Didn't play the last 2 nights. And he's going to send one to center. 1 down.
Batting 6 for Minnesota, number 5, the shortstop.
Eduardo Escobar coming up with 1 down here in the second inning. And Clevenger throws the first pitch in there for a strike.
Nice little changeup. Changeup, curveball, fastball for Mike.
And not necessarily in that order, right?
That's right. Not necessarily. Mix it up. This is his 4th start this year. First one, Cincinnati, Chicago White Sox, then Baltimore.
Made 1 relief appearance. That was on July 5th against the Tigers.
Yeah.
A bit outside, 2-2.
I think the last few times he's been up and he started a game, it's been command of the off-speed pitches that he's had issues with.
Now, when he came up in May, he made 3 consecutive starts out of the rotation at Cincinnati, at Chicago, home against Baltimore. And all 3 of those starts, there were some good, but then it was either one stretch or 1 inning that he just couldn't seem to get through or get out of the inning without giving up a big number. Swung on and miss. He strikes him out. 2 down here in the second. But I think we see this with so many young, whether they be position players or whether they are pitchers, that first time around, there might be some things that you get excited about. But at some point, whether it's the magnitude of the moment or the realization that, oh man, I'm in the big leagues, and they're just, or the game kind of speeds up on them a little bit, or the other teams see something and make a quick adjustment.
Yeah.
And then you go back down and maybe you slow things down again. Well, the next time they come back, they seem a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable. And
they have to make adjustments on the fly, and sometimes it's tough for young pitchers to do that at this level.
That really, to me, is what has been so impressive this year about Tyler Naquin, is that he's never been in the big leagues before, but as a rookie, he's been able to maintain. There's a drive into the gap, and it's run down by Geyer. They go 1-2-3. A good inning for Mike Clevenger. The Indians go right back to work on offense when we return.
with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Jose Ramirez leads off, takes inside, ball 1. To short, Escobar. 1 down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Last time the Twins swept a 4-gamer here in Cleveland, they weren't the Twins.
Jeez, how about a 6-game sweep? Swept 2 doubleheaders.
Brandon Guyer made his first appearance as a pinch hitter last night for the Indians and drew a walk. High fly ball, center field, and Buxton will make the catch, and there are 2 down here in the second. That'll bring up Abraham Almonte.
The right fielder, number 35, Abraham Almonte.
Almonte 2 out of 7 in the series. He has 1 run batted in. Big curveball, but that one's up high. Almonte has quietly picked up a hit in 5 straight. Indians have a 1-0 lead. The last time they scored first on the homestand was when they finished off a 3-game sweep of the Oakland A's on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I only remember one time, and we mentioned it against Oakland.
There's a base hit. Almonte keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single.
Just the second hit for the Indians. Looked like a little bit off the end of the bat. He elevated it a little bit. You can see he looked back and said, nah, change up is exactly what it was. It made it easier for Almonte to get to it.
Yeah, here's Roberto Perez. Perez is 0 for 8 in the series. Just 2 for 33 on the year. Almonte yet to attempt a stolen base. But with 2 outs, he's got Santiago's full attention. Fouled back.
Santiago 4 pickoffs this year.
Hearing the scoreboard PA announcer popping up. Even the players are motioning. Kill the mic, huh?
Yeah. Someone's got the mic open.
What are they doing?
It's a noon game.
Here's the 0-1. Hector Santiago gave up a home run to Jason Kipnis in the first. He's got 2 outs here in the second. And Roberto Perez taking the strike. He's in the hole, 1 and 2.
Another left-hander, not overpowering. Slow curveball. The changeup. The curveball is about 72 miles an hour. The changeup right around 80. And his fastball up in the upper 80s. Sure the Indians will see him a time or 2 more before this year is out. We still have, after today, a series in Minnesota, and then the Twins will come back here before we go to Minnesota. Be back here at the end of the month.
Just a bit outside, and the count is now 2 and 2. Two-two pitch, and that just missed. I think Santiago wanted it, didn't get it. Full count. Well, Abraham Almonte is going to be off at first, but this won't be an easy guy to get a jump on.
No, you make sure he's throwing the ball home all the way.
And a foul right back.
Yeah, sometimes you get a head start at first base, but on a 3-2 combo, when you have the left-hander, you really don't. You're waiting to see him.
Yeah, if he doesn't cross that leg or that knee over the pitching rubber, you've got to wait a long time.
Well, yeah, it's almost like you wait until you see the ball leaving his hand, so you're really not getting much of a jump.
Strikes him out. That'll end the inning. We played 2. It's Cleveland 1, Minnesota 0. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. One nothing, Cleveland on top, 3rd inning, and Kurt Suzuki will lead it off for Minnesota. Clevenger kind of rocks himself into the abbreviated lineup that he has.
I find it hard to believe right-handers this year coming into today hitting .364 off Clevenger, and lefties just .161. Look out.
There goes the bat over the Tribe dugout and up into the seats.
It was deflected. It was ricocheted. I think it hit right on top of the dugout. It jumped up.
There's a young fan that might have himself a souvenir. It all depends. Sometimes hitters will say keep it. Sometimes they'll say I'd like to have that one back because it's a gamer, but I'll trade you a BP bat for it.
Hell, they get it. He left it. Young man's got himself a new piece of wood.
For the moment.
Everybody else is okay in front, I believe.
Looks like Kurt's going to tell him you keep that one. Nice job. A little bit low. How awesome is that, though? He's got his buddies with him, or maybe it's a brother, or whatever the case may be. No, yeah. See, this is how it happened now.
Well, I'll have a story they can tell for forever.
Foul back out of play.
Remember, we were at that Twins game, and it'll get better and better. He caught it midair. In about another 5 years.
Looks like they got some autographs today too. They got some autographs on the cap.
Sure. They were here bright and early for the noon game.
See, he's reliving it already. Yeah, I put my hands up. Here's the 2-2 now to Suzuki. And it's low, full count. Kurt Suzuki, Byron Buxton, and Brian Dozier for Milwaukee, or for Minnesota here in the third. Think about this. Mike Clevenger was the Tribe's organizational pitcher of the year last year, and that was with a 9-8 record. Imagine this year he's 11-1 at AAA.
Well, you know, sometimes down in the minor leagues, when you're on 100 pitch count, you know, you don't go deep into the ball game. A lot of times bullpens have a lot to do with it. So wins and losses, you know, it's not like they're going deep into the game and they can complete any.
Walks Suzuki to start the inning, and a big reason why he was the pitcher of the year is that despite the one-loss record, he had a 2.73 ERA and only 40 walks in his 158 innings against 145 strikeouts.
Well, a heck of a deal for the Indians when they traded and got him from the Angels for Vinny Pastano.
Yep. And remember, being that we're into the month of August, that was a waiver wire trade.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think of those deals as really being that important or maybe that fulfilling. And yet there was a waiver wire deal after the trading deadline.
Yeah, the Angels looking for somebody for their bullpen at that time.
And the Indians ended up with somebody who at least has the potential to be a long-term starter for them. Now, the Tribe was definitely taking a bit of a gamble because he had the reconstructive elbow surgery.
Joined the team.
Yeah. High pop. This might be playable here. Roberto Perez back to the screen. Got it. Nice job. One down.
And that ball came back a little bit for him, as they always do when you get back behind home plate.
Now, speaking of trades and being traded for, Let's go down to Andre Knott. Was Clevenger a little nervous as the trade deadline approached because his name was maybe out there on the rumor mill?
Very much so. I thought you were going to say you were trading me.
I did too.
I thought he was trading me. I was like, hey, man, give us a couple more
I was going to say bye-bye, Andre.
Yeah, the governor would have stayed with me.
You're darn right.
But Clevenger was. He said, you know, he goes, look, we're human. He goes, we're on Twitter. We see our names bounded about and talked about. And he goes, I know what the Indians need. He goes, I'm glad that I'm here and I can help the team. But he didn't sleep the last 2 days leading up to the trade deadline. He goes, then he got a call that he had to be up here. And he thought he did something wrong. So he's excited that he's here. He wants to be an Indian. He also told me he was glad he didn't get traded to the Yankees like Frazier because he's not ready to cut his hair off yet either.
I was going to say, look at the moss he's got going, man.
Well, he says his looks better than Frazier, and Frazier needed a cut. So hopefully we'll see the Yankees and Frazier one day soon with him on the mound.
Depends if you like red. If red's your favorite color, that was Frazier's hair, right?
Yeah, it's all gone now too.
It's gone. It'll grow back.
Thought you were going to take a shot at our
Not Koha.
our compadre Mark Koha.
Well, I'm traded now, so I'll see you guys in New York.
Andre would have to slip through waivers now, and that wouldn't happen.
Here's the 1-1 into left field. Dozier with a base hit. That's the Twins' first hit today. But the Twins have something brewing here in the third, and that's not a surprise. In this series, Minnesota has outscored Cleveland in the third inning 14-0.
Yeah, well, that one, he missed his first at-bat. Dozier had a couple of high fastballs he swung through. This time he got it. It's a 13-game hitting streak for Dozier, second, I believe, longest now in the league. But he's on a pretty good roll. He didn't miss that high fastball, and he doesn't miss many of them.
And here's Joe Mauer, who drew a walk his first time up.
We had mentioned it. He's having a heck of a series, 10 for 15, and he's swinging the bat better right now than we've seen him in the last probably 3 years, I would think.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, he is. He's locked in, man. At least in this series. Although his average this year is just at 277 for him, it's down. You know, we mentioned that was a good changeup there by Clevenger. We mentioned the last time he has 5 doubles in the series. He has 15 on the year, so he came into the series with only 10. And there's the changeup. Great location, down and away, and it followed a fastball that was out there on the first pitch. But now here comes the tough part, putting him away with 2 strikes. Indians pitchers have gotten to this count many times in the series and haven't been able to put Twins hitters away.
Upstairs, coming into today's game, Twins were 14 for 28 after 0-2 counts. That's
hard to
just
believe.
Absurd.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe. It's just they're in a zone right now as a team. 14 for 28, 500, but after getting to an 0-2 count.
Well, it's the toughest hit to get in baseball.
Yeah. Didn't chase. Another nice changeup off the plate, but this is a big league hitter that'll take that pitch. You'll see it's away. It's a changeup, but here's a guy that knows the strike zone so well, you're not going to get him to swing at that pitch. You may tease him. He may look at it, but he won't swing at it.
That's been the other impressive aspect of the Twins offense, is how they have been so disciplined to lay off tough pitches. Out of play.
Well, they're in a groove now.
And that goes back to the 0-2 thing. You know, you get to 2 strikes, you expand a guy's strike zone, you might get him to chase. They haven't really done that.
No, and it's not just one hitter. It's basically the whole team's been up there doing the same situation. So you have to make quality pitches to get outs, no doubt. We will never see him swinging the bat this well again than we are in this series.
I hope not.
No, you can't. If you do, it'd be like at 4:30 in the afternoon at batting practice.
Line drive off the glove of Ramirez. And Suzuki will have to stop at third, but the Twins have loaded the bases.
That was smoked. Ramirez did a great job just to get leather on the ball. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold on to it. But he wouldn't have scored anyway if the ball gets through. I mean, Geyer would have been out there and gotten that ball quickly. And there it is. One step. He didn't really have even a chance to take it. He had to just dive. And it's just off the end of the glove. You can see Suzuki going to go back and say, okay, I can only go up a base. So now the table is set.
Well, Suzuki was kind of, if he caught that, he was going to be doubled off anyway.
It didn't matter.
But now you got Max Kepler up with a bases loaded and 1 out. And a foul up the third base line. Man, he was really late there.
Yeah, off the end of the bat, it looked like.
Watch this.
See that right? A cue shot. I'd check my bat.
I'm surprised it's not broken.
I'd check it. There may be a little good hairline fracture in there.
Up high.
Well, the first situation Clevenger's having to pitch out of. A ground ball, they could be able to turn it and get out of the inning. That would be the pitch of preference right there. Get yourself a ground ball at one of your infielders.
Line drive, center field, caught by Rajay. He's going to throw it back to first.
Nice,
Double
nice.
play! Ends the inning. The run does not count.
It's a heads-up play right there, folks.
Wow, what a job by Rajay Davis. He saw that Mauer had ventured too far off the bag. A good throw behind, inning over.
I mean, a line drive right at him, and he had to see Mauer was off the base, goes behind him. I thought he might try home, but boy, he shocked everybody and came right behind, and Mauer made a base running mistake, and he picked it up. And what a play, because Santana was going hit for the cutoff and gets over there. That is a wonderful play, man, to get out of the inning and did not allow anything. Heads up. He deserves to lead off this inning.
How did Santana know to not vacate first base?
The ball was hit so hard. Everything happened so quickly right there. It's almost just picking everything up and just reaction.
Rajay sends one to center field. One away.
Let's take a look at it. You see the guys
Santana
in the middle.
was going and then he stopped.
Yeah, because he realized where Mauer was. Santana realized. I mean, he also took a peek and saw him there, so he didn't go too far in. That was, I mean, a heads-up play. I thought he was going to come home originally. But that was well done.
Jason Kipnis taking a strike. Kip put the Indians on the board with the game's only run in the first. His career best 18th home run on the year. He now has 59 runs batted in, and he's on pace to drive in. I think he's right around 90 RBIs on the year.
The way he's swinging it, he's going to get 100. The way he's swinging it,
yeah.
Keep getting on base for him. He'll do his job. He picked on a fastball from Santiago back in the first. New career high for him. Congratulations. Now you just keep on adding to it. We have talked about it. Andre mentioned the other day, you know, he's getting that foot down quicker, less of a stride, an ounce heavier bat. That Kip feels he's hitting with a little more power.
From the knees, a nice play by Vargas.
Looked like a turtle. He couldn't get up. He had to flip it from his knees.
His momentum was carrying him the opposite direction of the plate, too. So as he threw it, he went down like the leaning tower of Pisa.
Well, that's a big body to get up quickly. You know, you're not a middle infielder right there at 260 pounds. But he made the play. Give him credit. From one knee, falling.
Oh, he's 290.
All right, 290.
Sano's 260 on the other side.
I thought the diamond was tilting.
Yeah, Vargas got a little more height. So,
well, then that's a heck of a play for a 290 pounder.
You think back, Arch? I mean, how big was Frank Thomas? He had to be around that.
Yeah, he was huge. He was a big man. Still is.
Yeah. Frank had to be 280, right? He had to be.
I would think
tall,
so.
Too.
Yeah,
6'4",
he was
6'5".
6'5". He was 6'5". Yeah, he was a big guy. He had to go at minimum 260, I would think. We don't want to insult him.
No, they say
275.
Okay, 275.
That's on a good day. Was that signing weight? That's what I want to know, because that never changes.
That's when he was coming out of Auburn.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He was the tight end down at Auburn.
Mike Napoli, big swing but fouled back.
You know, that's the funny thing about baseball. When you sign and it's in the media guide, you know, your kid 6'1", 180, 175, it stays with you the rest of your career. Even though you gain 25 pounds, it's still 175, 180. We need that after we retire. Keep printing that out.
Luckily, they don't put that in the media guide for us anymore.
No kidding. We get our own page. That's just from the headshot.
I understand the gaining weight part, but how did we shrink? I took
You
my
haven't started.
I'm like, wait, what happened? I used to be, you know.
You haven't started shrinking yet. Give yourself another 10.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled back out of play. So that half inch, I shouldn't be worried about the half inch.
No, not yet. Not when you see your son and daughter getting up and starting to grow taller.
They're going the other direction.
Yeah, they're growing past you.
Napoli in an 0-2 hole here. Drew a walk in the first, and that's the thing about Napoli. He rarely has at-bats when he's down 0-2 that end quickly.
That is true.
When you average 4.5 pitches per plate appearance, which is the most in the majors.
Well, he makes adjustments too. You know, I mean, he'll hit his streaks where you see him swing through 3 pitches in an at-bat. He may strike out 3 times in a game or 4 times in a game, but situations he changes his approach, and even if he's down 0-2, They'll lay off a high fastball a couple times to get back in. People don't throw him strikes. They try to get him to swing at their pitch so that he can't hurt them. And that's what gets him back into the count, a pitcher like that right there.
I mean, it's understandable. If I'm on the mound, I get ahead of him. I don't want to give him anything that he can still hit out of the ballpark.
So, I mean, that's how he works his way back in. He's smart enough where he's able to lay off it. You may get him to strike out, but he's going to make you throw some more pitches to get him out.
Here again, the 5th pitch of the at-bat, and it's outside.
So 0-2 to 3-2. So
you're going to see at least 6 here.
Between him and the guy on deck, they do that very well. When they get down, they battle their way back into at-bats for the most part.
Lindor at first, takes off. Napoli fouls it back. Down onto the screen behind the plate.
I got a kick out of them showing his bats the other day. What he has
Party at Napoli bats. That's
the party
great.
at Napoli bat. Yeah, where his name should be. It's beautiful. That's something that has really taken off out of nothing. You know, out of just a day at the ballpark. But it has its own life.
3-2 pitch. Hammered but foul. So aside from getting your first big league jersey, what was it like the first time you saw your name on your bat?
That was cool. I mean, you know,
that's got to be one of those, hey, I've kind of made it moments, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but then you quickly learn it's not about the name on the back of your jersey, it's the name on the front of your jersey and the town you play for.
3-2 pitch.
That's going to be
Suzuki will give it a look, but no chance here.
So he's had a very good at bat for being down 0-2.
Boy, this will be the 8th pitch of the at bat, right?
Yeah. And they have 10 2-strike foul balls off Santiago.
Lindor will try to get himself a jump.
That's the chance when you're a left-hander you take with a guy that can run. You'll throw over there a time or two to see if you can get an easy out.
Way outside, ball 4. And I tell you, I didn't realize until I looked up on the monitor that that's over 60 pitches now for Hector Santiago, and we're only in the 3rd. So while there's only 1 run on the board, the Indians have, again, they're trying to grind through each and every at bat. That's 20 pitches an inning on average. And now Carlos Santana, who flied to center his first time up.
Well, that Napoli at bat shows you. You know, down 0-2, and he did not go easy. He ended up walking him and making him work.
Big curveball, and he drops it in for a strike.
It's going to be tough to call a pitch too low for Santana, because he's got his pants hiked up above his knee, so they're going to get a good look at it. They're not going to be able to call a low pitch on him.
He's got the knickers going there.
Yes, he does. Look at that, above the knee.
The 0-1. Hammer. Deep left onto the home run porch. And out onto the street. A 2-out, 3-run homer makes it 4-0 Cleveland. Number 24 for Santana. Wow. You talk about teeing off on a ball.
Yeah, he just, I mean, he timed that beautifully and just smoked it. And now here you go again. They got the first 2 out and a measly little 2-out single, a battle walk, and then a bomb. And the Indians do it again with 2 outs. They scored their first 11 runs in the first 2 games with 2 outs. Here's 3 more coming in the final game. And you didn't even have to have a ticket to get that ball.
Tell you what, I love some of the second looks we've got today, some of the different angles. Outstanding.
Well, that's not a solo home run that Santiago's used to giving up. A couple aboard, that's a big one.
And again, Rick, we see this time and time again. Somebody has a lengthy at bat, like a Mike Napoli goes 8, 9, 10 pitches into an at bat. He ends up getting the walk, and then it's the next guy, maybe, or the guy for that benefits.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot. One tough at bat can do wonders.
Santana has not done a lot of damage from the right side of the plate this year, but that was a big one. His 3rd homer off a lefty this year.
I'll guarantee you the Indians right now are thinking, let's keep going. We want to keep adding on. They want to get to double digits today after the way they've been beaten the first 3 games. There's no doubt.
The 1-2. And Ramirez is called out on strikes, so the inning is over. But Carlos Santana sends one through the gate in left field. And a scurry for the ball ensues.
That is security guy's got it.
This 1 out of 12. I got it.
It's on the street. Bobblehead. That'll be courtesy of Meritech. The Tribe will host the Angels coming next weekend. That'll be on the 13th, and all fans can enjoy a pregame block party in the right field district. That is presented by T-Mobile. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Well, Mike Clevenger handed a 4-run lead now. He got out of a huge jam in the 3rd. Bases loaded, 1 out. Fly ball to center. Davis caught it, threw back to first, and got Joe Mauer, who had drifted too far off the bag. That turns to be a huge.
Think about the turn of events in that inning. You know, they get out of it, bases loaded, 1 out, and they come out and have 2 outs, nobody on, and they put 3 on the board.
Miguel Sano takes a low strike.
Well, the Twins will be getting Trevor Plouffe back here in the near future, who is their 3rd baseman. This is one guy that could be on the bubble there.
Sano shoots one inside the line. Geyer makes a nice play on the ball, but Sano in standing with a leadoff double.
Their first extra base hit today. It looked like a hanging breaking ball. Well, he got it off the end. It just didn't get down where he wanted it. Gets down into the corner for Sano, his 14th double. Back comes Minnesota. They're 3 for 4 that second time through the lineup. And remember, Kepler hit a line drive for the double play.
Now here's Kenny Vargas. Kenny Vargas listed at 6'5", 289.
I thought they rounded up.
Right, you know, exactly.
290. That was the weigh-in before breakfast on Sunday.
Vargas appeared to be literally on the fast track to becoming the Twins' middle of the order horse. In 24, well, let's go back to 2013. He hit 19 homers, drove in 93 in the minors. Next year, 17 homers, 63 ribbies in 97 games. Then got called up, and in only 53 games, he hit 9 homers for the Twins, drove in 38, hit 274, and it looked like they had their man.
Yeah.
But last year, in 58 games at the big leagues, his average slumped to just 240 and only 5 homers in 17 RBIs.
Well, it's funny how Major League pitching usually finds you know, the holes, or if you have pitches that you can't hit, they're very good at finding it. And you're going to have to make an adjustment once the league gets used to seeing you and they get a scouting report out. And how many times do we talk about it with all the video and everything that's shown and the scouts that what they can pick up?
Yeah, they're going to find it.
And teams that you play 19, 20 times a year that within your own division, they find out what you like and what you don't like and what you'll chase and what you won't.
Just missed inside the full count.
It's a good pitch in there, even though it's in off the plate. Very good. I'll bet you if you throw that same pitch here, he'd swing at it on a 3-2 count. The Twins as a team, though, they've walked 344 times, which is 4th in the league.
And the 3-2. Boy, Clevenger, not a good start to the inning. A double and now a walk. And with nobody out, Eduardo Escobar coming to the plate.
Stepping in for the Twins,
walk number 3.
Escobar.
Eduardo Escobar takes a strike. He went down swinging his first time up. Fastball, threw it right by him.
Watch the fastball, watch it above the belt. So he couldn't get to that ball. That was up enough. You get the swing and miss up there. Tough to get on top of a high fastball. Traveling in the 90s.
And the 0-2 is way up high.
I don't know if he's coming out of that fastball or what, but a couple times it's going up and away. And I think it's a fastball. I don't know if he's trying to throw a two-seamer.
Escobar awaits the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He blew it by him. 3 pretty good fastballs in that at bat. And then Escobar no match. 3rd strikeout for Clevenger. 1 down.
Let's check out the sequence here from Clevenger. Change up, strike 1. Comes back with the high fastball, gets it. Now he's going to give that one get away. He's upset. He knows exactly what he did because he comes back with a good one on the outside part of the plate and gets his 3rd strikeout, the 1st out of the inning.
Robbie Grossman takes the ball down and in. Two and 0. Chop to first. Santana goes to Lindor. There's one back to first, not nearly in time. The poor throw from Santana killed any shot at the double play. But there are 2 down now as Sano goes to 3rd. And Grossman aboard on the fielder's choice.
Well, that's the key. If you're going to go 3-6-3 or 3-6-1, you need to have good throws and accurate. That first one was a little high, and in return, they really. Lindor probably should have held on to the ball, really. I don't think they had a chance anyway.
He was by the bag by the time the ball got there anyway.
You know, with the pitcher covering, sometimes that's a tough throw for a shortstop. Having to lead the pitcher.
Now Kurt Suzuki, who walked back to lead off the 3rd inning. Bats with 2 on 2 out here in the 4th. Out of play.
Look at our man, the skateboarder. He gets up off and
he's going jump man on us.
Yeah, he is.
With Santana holding Grossman at first. Big hole on the right side. They've got the target set up away to Suzuki, and he takes 1-1. Now the count 1-2. Four 0 Indians on top. Minnesota threatening for the 2nd inning in a row.
That's right. One big pitch in this inning. He's out of it.
Low and away, 2-2. Missed outside, full count. Looked like Clevenger was trying to make that perfect pitch and just overthrew it a little bit. And it's understandable when you're at 2 strikes. You don't want to leave a pitch over the middle of the plate. So when you're shooting for that outside corner, if you want to miss, you want to miss off, not leak it back over.
Yeah, Clevenger with 5 full counts on the afternoon.
Got Byron Buxton waiting on deck. And the 3-2 smacked up the middle. Base hit. That's going to score Sano. Grossman will go to third.
Well, he threw that ball right down the middle.
Yes, he did.
And that's what happens. The hitters take advantage of it. They're looking for that fastball 3-2. And the veteran Suzuki got it. And there it was right there. Hits it right back up the middle. So Minnesota on the board now. They get their own 2-out base hit to get on the board. They keep the inning going. Still runners at first and third.
That's called squaring one up. You saw the rotation when it came out of Clevenger's hand. And then on contact, the ball almost stopped spinning. And that's what you can tell. He absolutely squared that baby up. Now here's Byron Buxton, fouled out in the third. Takes a strike.
Check it out. See what you're talking about. There's the spin. Then it's a knuckleball. Yeah, that's reversing that spin right there. No question.
Off-speed pitch popped him up. This will end the inning. Geyer is there. Twins get on the board. Middle of the fourth. Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1.
They close out their series with the Twins. Also, Kansas City in action today. They're in Tampa Bay, bottom of the fourth and no score. And Alex Gordon hits a homer. That's his 8th of the season. This one off Drew Smiley. A 2-run shot. That would score Eric Hosmer. The Royals are up 2-0 right now, bottom of the 5th, guys.
Thanks, Ashley. Here it's 4-1 Cleveland. And Brandon Guyer leading off. Takes low, ball one. Guyer fly to center, his only timeout. Foul back. And Guyer's got himself a base hit. This guy is very good against left-handed pitching. And he has a leadoff single here in the 4th inning.
Well, he picked out a changeup here, and it was right into the barrelhead of his bat, so he loved that. Speeds it up a little bit, and gets a line drive to left field. His first hit as an Indian in his 3rd at bat. Actually, the pinch hit he had last night, he walked.
3rd plate appearance.
Yes.
Here's Abraham Almonte. He had a base hit his first time up. And that was a changeup too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Came with 2 outs in the 2nd inning.
He throws a lot of changeups.
Stands to reason if you're a left-handed pitcher, you know the other team's going to stack the lineup with right-handers. So if you've got a good changeup, one that goes down and away, it should be, if you get it down and away, an effective pitch.
If you can pitch inside, though, to make that pitch effective.
That's true. Otherwise, they're going to hang out and look for it.
I mean, you've got to have something on the inside part of the plate to keep them honest and prove that you can throw it for strikes. That was a late timeout, huh?
Yeah. I heard him yell it. I heard the umpire yelling time before. Actually, he was right just starting his windup.
It's a little late.
See, there it is. And that one had good down movement. Popped him up here. 3rd baseman Sano. 1 away. The injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk, and a number of different injuries popping up. Mike Pelfrey back to the DL for Detroit. And the Astros, they're trying to catch Texas, but it certainly doesn't help. And you get guys headed to the DL. Of course, Danny Salazar, very hopeful that it will only be a 2-week stint for him. Had an MRI after his start the other night. Basically checked out okay, just inflammation. Needs to rest it for a bit. You know, as long as it's nothing more than just a couple of weeks stint, I think it's something the Indians can weather. If you were talking about something that was going to shut them down for a month or more, then it might be a different story.
Well, we hope that's all it is. He had a shot, a little inflammation. You hope it subsides with a little rest.
Guyer's taken off, and it's a fair ball. Roberto Perez is going to be thrown out. 2 down.
Well, the Indians' annual 2-night Rock and Blast Fireworks Spectacular is set for August 12th and the 13th. Angels in town next weekend, and this year's 25-minute shows. They're presented by First Energy, and they are set to the theme of a one louder. So visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Bright sunshine here at the ballpark. Current temperature is 89 degrees. Quite a bit of humidity this afternoon. They're calling for some showers, thunderstorms later.
Hopefully we'll be in New York by then.
Yeah. Check, did he go? The appeal, he did, says Fielding Colbert. And the count 1-1. Rajay both times today has flied out to center field. That one did not appear that he went, but.
Well, at least the home plate umpire asked for help. Even though he didn't. Earlier he called one in the game, I think it was on Sano, where he checked.
Wow, he hammered it, but out in front. Look out. That'll shake things up along the drink rails.
Came out of his strap. Change up, they had a good swing, and off comes the Velcro.
He's in the hole 1-2 with 2 down and a runner in scoring position. Out of play. Final game of the homestand. One that started off with great promise. Fizzled here at the end after losing 3 straight to Minnesota, trying to finish up with a victory.
Yeah, you finish off today, you're 5-4 on the homestand. You have a winning homestand. That's the way you look at it. You hit the road for 5. And then right back here for another long homestand. I like it.
Yeah, that next homestand, don't forget, folks, you got a makeup game with the Red Sox.
That's a Monday, right?
Week from Monday. 2-2 fouled back. Yeah, August 4th is the 14th or 15th.
Is it already the middle of August? It just turned, didn't it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
it is. It's a 15th.
Yeah.
Wow. Goes by too fast.
Good at bat for Rajay Davis. But he ends up down on strikes, and the inning is over. 4 complete, Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. (4-1) Cleveland on top. Fifth inning. Top of the order for Minnesota. Mike Clevenger has allowed 1 run on 3 hits. 2 of those 3 hits came in the 4th inning. He could use one of those quick innings here.
Well, for the Twins, the first time facing Clevenger, that first time through the lineup, they were 0 for 7. Clevenger went through it with 38 pitches. They made an adjustment their second time. They were 4 for 8. Clevenger had 36 pitches, and a couple of those outs were loud outs as well. So this is going to be interesting the third time through.
Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Earlier, we were talking with Andre about Mike Clevenger and the trading deadline, and his name was out there. And we told Andre he was just glad he didn't get traded to the Yankees so he wouldn't have to cut his hair, which is where Clint Frazier ended up being dealt to. And Brian Cashman, the Yankees general manager, was on MLB Network Radio this morning, and he told the guys that we will not see Clint Frazier at any point this year. He basically was saying probably at the earliest maybe the middle of next season is what the Yankees are looking for from Frazier. Deep left, Geyer's out of room. It's out of here. Man, Brian Dozier just drilled one to the bleachers in left field, his 2nd home run in as many days, and it cuts the Tribe lead in half at 4-2. Home run number 22 for Dozier.
Well, Dozier's done all the damage for the Twins from the right side of the plate. That's his 3rd home run in the series. This guy, he has been on fire. I want another fastball. Watch this. Boom, belt high. This is a guy that he doesn't miss him. And boy, I don't know what you have to see to believe it, but he gets after it, and he's doing some damage. He's 2 for 3. He cuts the lead in half. It's 4-2 on the year. 314 average, 4 homers, 14 ribbies. A very nice season so far.
Well, one of the most impressive things about the Twins is the fact that this year, coming into today, Minnesota's slugging percentage against the Indians is .517. Against the rest of baseball, it's .416. So their slugging percentage is 100 points higher in the games they've played against the Indians this year. And in this series, that slugging percentage was .780
through the roof
today. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Mauer takes just a bit off. He's not a guy that you'll see chase. It just doesn't do it.
No, he's discipline is so very good. Clevenger's done a nice job on the Twins though today in 0-2 counts. They're 1 for 4, but 3 strikeouts.
There's a base hit, right field, maybe another double.
Maybe. You're right. We both came up and said maybe.
Go back to first. Santana comes off and makes a catch. Now with a long single, he's 2 for 2.
He's
and that's
on
12 for 17 in the series.
He's been on all 3 times with the walks and everything. His on base percentage is out of this world. And that one, it hits the padding and it comes right back to Almonte. So he played it nicely and holds him to a single. And that's where, as a hitter or a base runner, now after you get the base hit, you make that judgment whether you can go to second base or not. He realized it. He made the mistake back in the 3rd inning when he was doubled off. He went too far when Davis threw back behind him to get the double play.
A little bit low, ball 1. Max Kepler is 0 for 2 on the afternoon.
Well, he hit the ball into the double play in the third inning I was just talking about. Twins have out-hit the Indians 6-5. Indians lead at 4-2.
Upstairs. Base hit again. Kepler and Mauer have just been on. Oh,
look at
Kepler ran right into Mauer.
It's because Mauer loafed it going to second base.
Now they throw to third. Ramirez will tag out Mauer.
Yeah, he might be tired, but Almonte booted the ball, and Kepler kept going once he saw him boot it, but he didn't look in front of him. Mauer, he just nonchalantly went to second base. So I think Kepler was thinking, I want to take the extra base, but Mauer wouldn't let him because look at it, he had to wait. So he says, okay, I'm just going to give up on it. And now he boots the ball. So he says, I'm staying put. He didn't run anywhere, and Kepler was right behind him after he saw the bobble. And again, they catch another break. And that, to me, again, another base running mistake by Mauer.
Yeah, he just stopped.
He was just cruising.
Now, on the other side of that, doesn't Kepler still have to look in front of him?
Sure you do. You always have to look at the base runner in front of you. But he was looking at the play out there, and he figured he booted the ball, so I got to go to second. You know, he's hustling to try to get his way in. I think if Mauer runs that the way he should have, he could have been on third base. But that's a break for the Indians, I'll tell you that. Look at it real speed. He had to stop and wait. So he says, all right, I'm only going to go to second base. He didn't expect him to, you see, he wasn't going to re-kick it into gear once he bobbled the ball. So it's just one of those plays. I guess it is, you know, Kepler's fault. I mean, for not keeping an eye on the runner ahead of you. But that showed Mauer wasn't really hustling all the way.
Miguel Sano doubled and scored in the fourth. Indians bullpen is busy. Oh my goodness, that's Dan Otero again.
Everyday Dan.
This would be 3 in a row for Otero. Foul right back into the mask of the umpire, Jim Reynolds.
Got both of them. That was a little spinner that stayed right there. You got to get it down.
Oh, wow. Guess that's a bit outside. I don't know. Been a couple of close ones. Reynolds consistently has not called them. Low and away, 2-2. That was really the same with Field and Colbert the other day. Anything that was just a little bit off, he did not call. He didn't call it the first time. He didn't call it the 10th time. Low and away, full count.
Well, back to another full count. 6 of them today for Clevenger. Perez wants to go out. Send out some birthday wishes to Joanne Chapman of Mansfield, turning 82 today, and also a happy birthday to Bill Russell. Aubrey and Loretta Kirkpatrick celebrating their 60th anniversary. Congratulations and enjoy your day.
It's already the longest start of the series by an Indians pitcher at 4 1/3 innings. But they were hoping for more than just that. Clevenger's 3-2. And he's walked him. So he's yet to retire a batter in the inning. And here comes Terry Francona. So that's going to be it. Clevenger, as I said, does go the longest of any Indian starter in the series, making it through 4 1/3. He'll leave with the lead, responsible for the 2 men on base. So that means he can win it. He cannot lose it. No, he can't win it. He didn't go far enough. Jeez. He's out of the ball game. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for Dan Otero when we come back.
Top of the 5th. The Tigers right now closing out their series with the White Sox, tied at 1, top of the 1st inning, and the Chicago just takes the lead. They had a 2-1 lead here. Avastael Garcia homers to center, his 9th of the season, 3rd of the series. That sparked a big inning. 6-1 White Sox right now, guys. Bottom of the 2nd. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Finally, some good news.
It's not her fault the Tigers have been hot.
Kenny Vargas will bat for Minnesota here as Dan Otero comes out of the bullpen. 3rd straight day. He worked 2/3 of an inning last night. He worked an inning and 2/3 the night before.
Well, this is the 15th pitcher the Indians have used in this series out of the bullpen, covering 18 2/3 innings. They've given up 25 hits, 13 runs.
Well, Terry's not looking for length from Otero today. He's looking for a double play ball to get out of this inning.
I hear you loud and clear.
And then he'll be back in that bullpen to try to piece it together.
Well, that's the thing. You think about it, they ran into an out this inning, so they're fortunate to have the 1 out.
Yes. Strike 3 call. So Dan Otero gets a punch out, 2 away.
At bat for the Twins.
Well, he comes inside, and it's going to be right there. Good pitch.
That's where being 6'5" works against you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big man. That's a good pitch.
Eduardo Escobar struck out twice against Clevenger.
No, you wouldn't get that pitch to this guy.
And he pops one up. Dan Otero to the rescue. Twins get a run. They leave 2 stranded. Middle of the 5th, 4-2 Cleveland. performance in clutch situations. Goodyear more driven. The wing foot one hovering above today, piloted by Jerry Hissam. Thanks to all the guys,
Jerry,
Goodyear, crew.
I don't know if they could hear us up there. I was driving home the other night, going right down 90, and that thing was about 100 feet over.
Really?
Coming over Burke as they were tethering. I'm sure they were heading home after the ball game. It was pretty cool. I said, what is that? They were taking off. No lights on.
Jason Kipnis homered in the first. Bounce to second baseman Brian Dozier. One away. You know, when I was a kid, if the Goodyear blimp was there, you knew it was a big event.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't just roll out for a regular old ball game. It had to be, you know, Super Bowl, World Series.
Yeah, right.
Big event. You knew the Goodyear blimp was going to be there.
And they still follow their standards. It's a big event. It's been a big homestand. They had some very good weather to shoot from, too.
Oh, you're not kidding. Lindor with a liner to left and a running snow cone catch by Robbie Grossman. 2 down.
That looked like it was right at the end of his glove.
T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Your guy, Albert Pujols. 12th career walk-off home run, tied second all-time with Frank Robinson and Mickey Mantle, both in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, and our other buddy, the all-time leader with 13.
Soon to be in the Hall of Fame.
Albert's having a nice year this year.
I got to figure old Pujols is a stone-cold lock for the Hall of Fame.
No question.
I say that the only hesitation is that he played in the era where people are going to wonder, are those numbers all legit? But
he's fine. He's legit. That guy's had a hard to believe he ever left St. Louis. You know, that was the one thing I figured, man, he'd go down as a Cardinal.
There's still a lot of times I still have to, like, oh wait, he's not with the Cardinals. You know,
unbelievable. You know, with the tradition that franchise has, hard to believe he ever left. I don't care what kind of money you're talking about.
And a breaking ball strike to Napoli. Up and away, 2-2.
It was Napoli's at bat back in the third inning that prolonged the inning to allow Santana to hit the 3-run home run after he was down 0-2. It was about a 9 or 10 pitch at bat. He ended up walking.
Well, give Santiago credit, and being a veteran pitcher, you can understand how. But you know, he gave up the 3 runs on the 3-run blast by Santana, but he settled right back in and didn't let it get out of control. He's given up those 4 runs, but that's been it. 2 long balls. They've accounted for all 4 for Cleveland.
He's checking that lineup right now.
There are some times where I swear you can tell Napoli's not swinging. It's almost like maybe he can just guess what the pitcher's going to throw, and he's just, I'm not swinging at this. He's not going to throw me a strike. But he threw him one there, and a good fastball to get him. The Indians go 1-2-3, 6 straight retired by the lefty Santiago.
12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Located in the family deck out here at Progressive Field by the Kids Clubhouse. Go to Indians.com to get them.
Robbie Grossman going to lead it off for the Twins here in inning number 6. He's 0 for 2. Well, Dan Otero got the last 2 outs of the 5th, but he's staying on to pitch the 6th. And Andrew Miller, left-hander, up in the pen for Cleveland. He's on for Mauer and Kepler for sure. Ramirez stays with it, cut of the grass, throws him out, 1 away. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jason Kipnis, a career-high 18 home runs on the year, gave the Indians a 1-0 lead. Later, it was Carlos Santana, his 24th of the year, made it 4-zip. Brian Dozier, with a solo shot of his own in the 5th, got Minnesota to within 2 at 4-2. That was after a 2-out RBI single by Kurt Suzuki in the 4th inning. Tried to bunt, and he bunted it foul right back into Perez.
One catcher to another. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, pal.
Not sure where it got him.
Well, it goes straight down, so how about the toe? Ouch.
How about that? He fouls one off in his foot, next one off his mask.
Well, that one you don't mind because as a catcher you see it. That other bunt, that's the ones that are tough. But neither of them. Wow.
Just missed inside. To third again. Ramirez spins, longer throw this time, still right on the money, 2 down. Well, Clevenger got into a jam in the 5th. Bases loaded, actually a 2-on, 1 out, and Dan Otero came on, struck out Vargas, popped up Escobar. Got out of the inning without any further damage done. He comes on and retires 4 straight. So he goes an inning and a third scoreless. Well done. And now, big left-hander Andrew Miller is coming on when we come back. Andrew Miller coming on. He's got Byron Buxton, who is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Miller came over from the Yankees in a big trade. And his first pitch is down low, ball 1. Two and 0. Handles the outside corner. Miller has a strikeout to walk ratio of 11 to 1.
Yeah.
Breaking ball, and that got
Wow,
Perez
he's
again.
having a tough inning, man. One on each foot.
Third time this inning he's been drilled.
I think that got him maybe, is it the same foot? Check it out.
Yep,
Yeah,
same spot.
unbelievable. And then one off the mask. He didn't have a limp when the day started, but he has one now.
He won't be able to tie his shoes, his dress shoes.
He won't want a shoe on. We'll be wheeling him in a chair to get on the plane.
Walking on the plane barefoot tonight.
Same spot.
That's like a hitter who's been hit by a pitch, like on the arm or something. You go up there and it's like, please don't hit me there again.
And he does.
Got him looking at a breaking ball. Well done by Andrew Miller. The Twins go 1-2-3. The Indians maintain a 4-2 lead. Middle of the 6th. That leads us to our Hear Right sounds of the game. You know what? It kind of reminds me of when you're in golf. Sounded good.
Yeah, that sounded great. Are you kidding? Had a security guard chasing it down right there and lost out. He had a better angle, the guy in the green shirt. But that's a three-pointer right there. For Santana, that was his 24th homer of the year. Now Trevor May on for the Twins. He's appeared in this series a few times. His 42nd appearance. Coming on to face Santana, Ramirez, and Geyer.
Ground ball foul, first base side by Santana. Carlos with that monstrous 3-run homer in the 3rd. Leading off here in the 6th as the Indians try to add some insurance. Well, we're happy to be joined now by, look who snuck in.
Nice to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Chris Antonetti, and obviously with the trading deadline having come and gone, not that you pack up shop and go to the beach for the rest of the summer, because there are still deals that can be done here in the month of August. A little trickier, though, with players having to clear waivers. But first of all, just kind of give us your thoughts on how things went up and to and through the actual trade deadline itself.
Well, it was a really active deadline period for us, not only the last couple days, but the last few weeks. And we went into the deadline with the goal of trying to make a meaningful impact on our team and support what the guys have done to date in the season, which has put us in a really good spot to compete for a postseason berth. And so we tried to do that and find different ways to make a meaningful impact. And with the acquisitions we made of Andrew Miller, Brandon Geyer, we think we were able to do that.
A little frustrating, though. We woke up and we thought we had the Lucroy deal done, and it didn't come out. And I mean, that has to be a little frustrating for you after all the work and hard time that you put into something like that.
In some ways, I think the nature of the business is there are a lot of different things that can happen. And that's one of the reasons why we always say a deal is never done until it's done and announced. So there are a lot of different complexities to work through, whether it's players approving no trades or ownership having to approve a deal.
Santana with a jolt, but a nice play made by Kepler in deep right field. But to be fair and to kind of clarify, there were reports out there that said the Indians had told Jonathan Lucroy that maybe he wouldn't be starting next year, that he would be playing first base, playing the DH role. And Mike Chernoff was already quoted on I think on a radio interview saying, we didn't talk to Jonathan Lucroy because you're not allowed to.
Yeah, we never talked to him. So. Yeah, again, what I am happy about is the team that we have, and the team that we had going into the deadline, and the acquisitions we were able to make, and we feel like we've got a chance to compete and try to win our division.
Jose Ramirez taking a called strike now. Are there areas that you're still concerned about? I know I can't ask you about specifics and players and that kind of thing because there are still potentially moves to be made, but.
Yeah, I think, we've talked about this all the time. Part of our approach always has to be looking for ways to improve the team. The trade deadline provided an opportunity to do that. And now the month of August, there remains some opportunities. It's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more complicated to get, some of those players, but there will still be some opportunities over the course of the next month. And if we find the right guy that we think will help our team, we'll look to do that. And we'll also look internally because there are a group of guys in Columbus that we think could help us, whether it's either in the bullpen or different places on the diamond.
Can you explain to some of the fans out there how you have to clear waivers and how you would have to claim somebody? Right. I mean, it's tough to explain to them.
How much time
I mean, can you give
next
us
3 innings?
Well, why not?
Right,
sure, why not?
So prior to July 31st, there are no restrictions on on trades between teams. Players can be traded freely. After July 31st, each team runs players through waivers, and the way you can acquire a player through trade waivers is either to place a claim in on that player, or if that player clears, meaning every team passes on the right to acquire his contract, then at that point they're free to be traded. If 10 teams submit a claim on a particular player, the only team that's eligible to negotiate with that is the one with the worst record.
Okay, so and it works its way up.
And then it works its way up. And then the teams have a very narrow window to try to negotiate a trade with just that one team. And if it doesn't happen, the team that player is currently with will revoke the waiver request, and then he'll just stay with that team and can't be moved anywhere else.
So it can be very complex.
It gets very complicated.
Yeah.
And there are nuances to that, and it can take different shapes and forms, but basically if there are a lot of teams interested in one player, the only team that can get him is the team with the worst record.
I got you. See, now that's why people think, oh, go get this guy. It's no big deal. We can get him. And it doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way.
We try to tell a lot of the fans, even before the trading deadline, before August 1st or after it happens, there's so many things you have to go through to try and get a guy to begin with contracts. And it's just not like a little video game where, okay, you give me this guy, I'll give you this guy, and we go from there. Very difficult, didn't it?
It is. There's a lot to it.
Are you going on this road trip with us, may I ask?
I will be there. Yeah.
Okay, you need some rest and some sleep. That's what you need.
No, my family will be with me, whom I haven't seen very much over the course of the last month, so at least they'll be there.
2 good cities.
Yeah.
I want to know what video game he's talking about that has trades in it.
Well, you know, when you're a kid with baseball cards, you know, video games and baseball cards. And we used to trade them, get them out of our bike spokes.
I think there are video games now where you trade players. Shows you how disconnected we are,
exactly.
right?
I'm just so shocked to hear it out of his mouth.
Come on, I got grandkids that do that stuff, man.
Geyer with a bunt attempt that goes foul. But Chris, it is kind of weird sometimes, you know, fans who maybe don't know all the nuances. Heck, we don't know all the nuances, and we do this every day, but in that August period, you'll hear like a big name player is on waivers, and it gets everybody's antenna ringing. Well, the reason is because the guy might be owed $50 million, and not anybody's going to put a claim in on a guy like that.
That's exactly it. And actually, every player almost throughout baseball is going to be placed on trade waivers at some point. If they're claimed, most teams will just pull that player back, and then he ends up not getting traded. The players that get through waivers are the ones that either have really big contracts or teams that aren't that desirable to teams for one reason or another.
Is that to get the value of the guy that you put out on the waiver wire to see how he stands out there?
Sometimes, yeah, you try to gauge interest from other teams, and I think honestly it's more of a habit that teams are just accustomed to doing this time of year.
Down on the dirt.
Some teams don't do it at all. Some teams will, different organizations have different strategies with respect to the August waiver period.
Now, the big question I'm sure that on the minds of most fans, are you concerned with the recent starting pitching slump that we've seen?
I'm always concerned about everything. So that's the nature of my job, right?
I know you're not panicked,
but we're always thinking about, alternatives, options, depth. It's something we spend a lot of time thinking about. So we'll continue to do that over the next month.
Well, I know you're busy. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for the time.
Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. Ford 2, Cleveland on top. 7th inning, thanks to Chris Antonetti, Indians team president, stopping by to let us know what's going on.
That waiver wire, it's hard, to figure out. So many rules.
Well, I just remember a long time ago and I had heard somebody, I don't know, let's just throw a name, Barry Bonds was on waivers. I thought, why would they put Barry Bonds on waivers? Because I didn't understand, you hear waivers, you think that means you're done. They put you on waivers.
Yeah.
It's like it's even part of our lexicon. Oh, we're putting you on waivers. You're done. You're out of here. But there are so many different waivers in baseball.
There's a lot to understand about it, that's for sure. And I know we don't. But it certainly helps if somebody that knows what's going on can explain it to you.
Jose Ramirez has been busy today, and he's been scooping them up and throwing them out here. One down. Andrew Miller has retired two in a row. Now he's got back-to-back left-handed hitters, Mauer and Kepler. So for Joe Mauer, the 12 hits, most in a 4-game series against the Tribe since the Iron Horse Lou Gehrig.
That's incredible, huh? He's had 2 4-hit games. He's some kind of series.
Swung on and missed. Good breaking ball. Now Monday, Miller, that breaking ball, it spun and it hung inside, and Mauer turned it around.
Yeah, well, this is going to be the good thing of it. You make an adjustment. You rarely see Mauer swing at a first pitch, but you did this time against the lefty, knowing he's going to make a change here in this at bat.
Dots the outside corner with a fastball.
And when you throw a pitch there, that's tough to get to.
And I would think, Rick, because of Andrew's size and his arm angle, just a little tougher to pick up for a left-handed hitter.
Yes, indeed. And it gets on you in a hurry, too. Quicker than most left-handers.
He lays off, but that's a tough pitch to lay off. 1-2.
Well, right now he's going to be in protect mode and just try and take anything the other way he can. That's why he's going to be able to wait on it.
Interesting that Miller works on the extreme third base side of the rubber. Maybe because of his size, we've seen some lefties all the way over on the other side of the rubber. And for a left-handed hitter, almost looks like they're pitching from second base.
I'll say this, Mauer had a great swing there with 2 strikes.
Well, you said it. He's as locked in as we have ever seen him, and maybe as locked in as any hitter we've seen in a while. And we've seen some good. We've seen Miguel Cabrera have series like this.
Yeah.
Got him looking. Andrew Miller with a well-located fastball. Mauer may not like it, but that's out number 2.
Well, he'll take a walk and look at the video board and hope to see it again. But there's that fastball away. He gets the call. Hard to tell. He might have thought it was up a little bit, if I'm thinking, for Joe Mauer. It's not so much away as it was up.
Yeah. Borderline, but the way Miller's been throwing a baseball here today, he's hitting spots. Now that one looked like a strike, and it's called a ball. Max Kepler 1 out of 3. Base hit his last time up, and that caused the Twins a little problem because, you know, when you're trailing in the game, you just can't afford to make mistakes on the base paths. And Kepler saw Almonte bobble the ball, sort of misplay it, and he just went full bore to second base, not realizing Mauer had loafed into second and just stopped there, and he ran himself right into and out. Well, Mauer ended up being the one tagged out. But.
Well, you know, it's the hustle of Kepler that got Mauer in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You don't blame anybody. You have to blame the guy for not looking in front of you. He overran the play is what he did do, but he was trying to hustle his way to go into second because he would have been the tying run.
He's thinking in his mind, well, Mauer's going to third for sure.
Exactly.
He didn't look up to make sure.
Yep, and that was his fault.
Got him. Miller with a terrific breaking ball strikes out Max Kepler, and the Twins go 1-2-3, and the Indians bullpen has retired 8 straight.
President Chris Antonetti on Tuesday, August 16th here at Progressive Field for the Positive Coaching Alliance Breakfast. Fans will get behind the scenes perspective about the player development program. Tickets are available by visiting positivecoach.org/chapters/Cleveland. Again, August 16th on a Tuesday.
Bottom of the 7th inning. And Michael Tonkin will be the third Twins pitcher to work here this afternoon. He takes over for Trevor May, who worked the scoreless 6th inning.
Well, see if they can add on.
Abraham Almonte 1 for 2. He singled in the 2nd. He popped up in the 4th inning. White Sox still lead the Tigers 4-1 in the 4th inning up in Detroit. Back out of play. Four runs, 5 hits for the Indians. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Twins. Minnesota's left 7. The Indians have stranded just 3. The Tribe has thrived on the long ball once again. Solo shot by Kipnis in the 1st. 3-run homer by Santana in the 3rd. And the 3-run homer by Carlos came with 2 outs.
Yeah, that whole inning started with 2 outs. That's the great thing about it.
Almonte, late swing at a breaking ball there. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that's a swing there where you're fooled on the pitch and ended up trying to foul it off. That was almost like a 2-strike swing.
That's what I was thinking. Why swing there if you feel like you're fooled already?
That is correct. Why?
Big guy gloves it. Sano throws him out. 1 down.
Well, come on down to the ballpark. It'll be another Sugardale Dollar Dog Night Friday night on the 12th. You don't want to miss the first night of Rockin' Blast fireworks. That's presented by First Energy. It should be a fun weekend coming up. The Angels will be in town. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Roberto Perez 0 for 2. He's 0 for 10 in the series. And the pitch low. 2-0. Cincinnati beating up on St. Louis 7-0 over in the National League. Cardinals trying to hang in contention in the wild card race as Perez took a mighty swing on this. St. Louis started the day a half game in front of Miami for the 2nd wild card spot. Right at the shortstop. Easy play for Escobar. And there are 2 down. And we go to the top of the order with Rajay Davis, who is 0 for 3 here this afternoon. He's flied out twice, struck out once. Kansas City shutting out Tampa Bay 2-0 there in the 8th. Phillies Giants tied 1-1. They're in the 5th inning, and that's at Philadelphia. San Francisco currently leads LA by 2 games in the NL West. Strike to the outside corner. Most everything else is tonight. But yeah, Detroit is. I wasn't sure if they were playing tonight, but they are. Detroit will play later.
No, they're playing right now.
Oh,
they're getting beat up.
Right
Number
now.
6-1.
Yeah, what am I looking at?
Remember Ashley gave us that news earlier.
Yeah,
that was a good news. You got her. It was the only good news she gave us this weekend. You're saying?
Yeah.
It's we're going to bring her in again and have her do it.
Rajay takes it up high, 3-1. Well, that's what screwed me up. I was looking. The Tigers are welcoming in the Mets tomorrow.
Oh, they are, huh? So they're at home again.
Ground ball up the middle, and that will get through. And Rajay Davis has his first hit of the series. 2-out single keeps the inning going here in the 7th.
I'm guessing we might see a little action here with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th. With Davis on at first base, Kipnis the hitter. We'll see if he gives him a pitch to, if he can get a jump.
Snaps an 0 for 10 for Rajay as Brian Shaw will be coming on to pitch the 8th. Kipnis homered in the first. He has grounded out twice since then. Rajay's 25 steals, tied for second most in the AL.
And that's what happens when you're a good base stealer. Pitchers, it takes them out of their rhythm. They have to hold the ball. They have to throw to first base. It sort of distracts their concentration away from the hitter.
Runner goes, pitch out, throw down, still couldn't get him.
Don't you love it? He wastes no time. Minnesota knew he was going to go. They had the right call on. They pitched out, and Davis steals it anyway for his 26th. I mean, there's no guessing game, folks. It's here I go. It's time to steal. That's a good base stealer, when everybody knows you're going to steal it and you still do it. And they pitch out, and it doesn't matter. That was very good. So now he's in scoring position. Kip has an opportunity to add on.
Well, Arch, it's going to be a 2-horse race for in stolen bases in the AL between Rajay Davis and Jose Altuve, because Eduardo Nunez, who's over the league, is in the National League now.
Yeah, he's over in San Francisco, right?
He's going for third, and he's got it stolen without a play.
See, he hasn't been out there in a while and been able to steal, and those legs want to go. He's feeling good because he's had a few days off. But again, he just had it timed perfectly with no throw. There's nothing you can do.
And if you're Minnesota with 2 outs, that's not a play you're really worried about.
No, you don't. You're concerned about your hitter. Get out of the inning. More so because your infielders are not really keeping them close at second. They're saying go ahead. But anyway, just in case a wild pitch or pass ball or an error could get him home. Kipnis looking for a base hit.
That's RBI number 60 on the year for Jason Kipnis if he can drive him home. The 2-2. Back out of play. Tremendous campaign by Jason Kipnis this year. Pulls it foul. It's a hot one today here at Progressive Field. Temperature in the low 90s, but the humidity is stifling. Ball gets
Watch
away.
this.
Rajay's rolling for home. The flip, not in time. He literally stole a run.
He certainly did. I'll tell you what, that's impressive right there. That's where you steal third base. It certainly helps you. Right there, and that ball did not get off the dirt. And his hustle gave the Indians an insurance run. Fun to see. Just trickled onto the grass, and here comes the flip, but no, not for Davis. He's way too fast for that. No, that's great.
Great read, never hesitated.
You know, and don't forget about that play earlier in the game with the bases loaded. He threw behind to get Mauer. That was another nice play. Yeah, that's exciting right there. Speed. It brings another element to the ball game.
That's bang.
Bang.
3-2.
And he loves to do it.
Not a play.
Just watch how quickly the decision has to be made. There it was. Just a split second. He picked it up. No contest. Now he's talking about it. It's a big run there because now if they get a guy on, the tying run is not at the plate. You got to get a couple of guys on.
Kip. In the meantime, Kip's had a heck of an at bat here. 10 pitch at bat already. Michael Tonkin retired the first 2 on ground ball outs. And Rajay singled, stole a couple of bags, home on a wild pitch. 3-2 to Kip. Low, ball 4. The grind continues. Well, Arch, Kansas City is starting to understand how everybody else in baseball feels when you lose your closer Wade Davis and Luke Hochevar goes down.
Don't tell me they gave it up.
They were up 2-0, bottom of the 8th inning, and Joakim Soria gave up a 3-run homer to Brad Miller.
Ouch.
And the Rays now lead it 3-2. I don't care who you are. You have a lockdown, wipe out, blowout closer, you get spoiled. It just happens.
Well, there's not many of them.
No, not many that last either. But you know, even if you have one for a year, you know.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Yeah.
You just feel like, oh, this game's over.
Well, you take it for granted, and you develop an attitude where you say, okay, you have the lead after 8, game's over. You know, and that's just the way it goes.
And last year, the way they were going, it was over after 6 if they had the lead. Lindor, liftoff, deep, and goodbye. Francisco Lindor, his 13th home run of the year. A towering 2-run shot, a 3-run 7th for the Indians, and they now lead it 7-2.
They want to keep right on going. This is good. Lindor just put a really nice swing on it, and they've hit a solo homer, the 2-run homer right here, and also a 3-run home run today. So the Tribe with 3 homers gives them 139 on the year. It gives them now a 7-2 lead, and everybody's happy.
Now Mike Napoli cuts and misses. Nap, what most likely is his last shot at keeping his home run streak alive. Not that that's anything he's even remotely thinking about, but he has homered in 5 straight games, and that's the longest streak of his career. He also did it back in 2012. Pronk homered in 6 straight in 05. Jim Thome did it in 7 in a row back in 02.
That's some kind of. That's a nice week.
There's a fly ball. Shallow center. Dozier can't get it. It's a base hit.
He'll take the hit.
So the home run streak may come to an end, but for Mike Napoli, the hitting streak continues, and that'll be 6 in a row with at least a hit for Nap.
Yeah, you take the knock. He gets that fastball. It was up a little bit, but he muscled it into center field, shallow center. Paul Molitor going to go out and make the move. Tonkin can't get out of the inning after again getting the first 2 out.
So 23 runs in the series for the Indians. 19 of them have come with 2 outs. We've got a timeout for a pitching change. Indians rolling today, up 7-2.
Matt in just a minute, but Matt mentioned a moment ago Kansas City on the road taking on Tampa Bay. Casey up 2-0, and Brad Miller gives the Rays a 3-2 lead with his 19th homer of the season. This one off Joakim Soria. They're up 3-2 now, top of the 9th. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ashley. New pitcher is Tommy Malone, left-hander on for Minnesota. He'll be facing Carlos Santana, who swung the balance of power in this game with a 3-run homer in the 3rd. It was a scorching 2-run shot to the home run porch, and then it skipped through the fence, went out onto the plaza, made it 4-0, and put the Twins in the unfamiliar position, at least in this series, of being in the big hole. Tommy Malone delivers a strike. Twins added a couple of runs, one on the 4th, one on the 5th. But now with a 3-run 7th, the Indians have taken command of the ballgame. Down in the dirt.
Well, we've seen Malone before as a starter. You know, a control guy, moves it in and out, works the edges, changes speeds, keep the hitters off balance. 3 guys on the left side for Santana.
Slowly chopped in the hole. It's the shortstop Escobar who makes the play on Santana, and that will end the inning. But Rajay Davis creates a run with his speed, and Lindor lunches one to the cheap seats. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Back here at Progressive Field, where the Indians lead at 7-2. And a new pitcher for the Tribe is right-hander Brian Shaw, working with a 5-run lead now as he'll face Miguel Sano, Kenny Vargas, and Eduardo Escobar. Well, Mike Clevenger did a decent job. There's no reason to, I don't think, be hypercritical that he only went 4 1/3. I mean, that's certainly not what you wanted. You wanted to see him go at least
it would have been
5 or 6,
nice.
but you know, he only gave up the 2 runs. The bullpen, though, has been special, and in particular, Dan Otero and Andrew Miller, 2 2/3 combined, not a base runner.
Look, he was the guy that he went farther than any one of our starters in the first 3 games. So, I mean, would you have liked to get more? Sure. But it didn't matter. They were able to get him a lead early. They had a 4-0 lead. And although Minnesota had opportunities to come back, they add on. It's something they needed.
Otero was really good. Miller, really impressive.
6 outs to go. You got to continue.
And a strike call, full count. Payoff pitch. A bit outside, ball 4. Well, this is Andrew Miller coming out of the bullpen. And he made quick work of Byron Buxton, struck him out looking. And after he got Dozier on a ground ball out, the 2 left-handed hitters, Mauer, see you later, Kepler, down swinging.
Yeah. Look at the ball down in the zone. That slider's nasty.
It's got
I wouldn't want to have to face him left-handed, really.
Plenty of RPMs there. There's a 1-0 pitch to Vargas, and that's outside. Wow. Might have caught a break that even got a strike call.
Well, you
there.
had to take. I mean, if you're the Twins right there, he's having a tough time throwing strikes, so you have to take a pitch.
Just kind of waved at that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-2. That was not an aggressive, I'm going to get after it pitch or swing by Vargas. And it's a little low, full count.
He thought it was ball 4. He took that walk out of there and said, uh-oh, it's 2-2. You don't want to give them base runners.
Payoff pitch.
Up took one there.
Nailed him.
Well, that goes straight back into Jim Reynolds. That was sort of the shoulder and side of the mask.
You were never an umpire or catcher that had to feel anything like that, did you?
No.
Okay.
Smarter than that, Arch.
Yeah, I figured that. You were a college boy. You were too smart to put on those tools of ignorance.
I did umpire for a summer when I was, I think might have been junior high or high school. Girls softball. Not a good experience.
No. Fast pitch?
Yeah, those girls get angry though.
Do they?
Yeah, if they don't like your call, and then they cry.
There's no crying.
But it was softball, it wasn't baseball. Vargas struck out and snapped his bat over his leg. There's no crying in baseball. You just break things.
Well, he's big enough. He could break it. I mean, that's easy for him. Look at it. No big deal. Started by who? Bo Jackson.
It was like a twig. Bo did it over the top of his helmet, though. Remember that? He had it over the top of his head. He snapped it right out of his head. Outside. Ball one.
I saw a player that I played with in Milwaukee one time, Glenn Braggs, when he used to swing. And he'd come back and that bat would extend back and hit his back.
And crack it?
Yes, a couple of times. No question. Hard to believe, but it did happen. Look at that. That's kindling.
That's great fire starter right there.
Yeah, Willie's going to take that back and put it in his fireplace for the winner.
Which fireplace? He's got several in that mansion he lives in.
Well, I'm sure he does. Whatever one he chooses. He doesn't look happy right
now. The 2-1. Ripped to first. What a play by Santana. There's one. Back to first. And Shaw couldn't find the bag. He's asking for help or asking for the Indians to challenge it. He feels like he was there.
I'll tell you, that's a tough play. That's one where Shaw does his job of getting over there. And Santana comes back. And I think both of them could have been there. But Shaw stopped. Santana made a beautiful pick and a good throw on this one. That enabled Lindor to get it back. Looked like he got him. Let's see if the toast hits the bag. Oh yeah, he got him. He's going to be out, and Shaw was right. He pointed in and said, "Go ahead and check that." And let me put it this way: it looked like he got him.
Yeah, you're right, Arch. I can't say with any certainty anymore. I can't say.
Yeah, I quit trying to figure it out. I'm just going to say it looked like he had him. That foot touched the base and he was out.
We know Sano was out at second.
That'd be a nice double play.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
See you later. Inning over. So it is an inning-ending double play. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians up 7-2.
Look at our Mazda key to victory. Well pitched game period. Well, overall it has been. Clevenger went 4 1/3, gave up a couple of runs. The bullpen has retired 10 of 11 batters, and they have had to work all series long. Well, they have done a good job, and still a 5-run lead and 3 outs to go as Malone still on for the Twins, coming back out for the bottom of the 8th. Ramirez, Geyer, Almonte, the hitters. The Indians 7 runs on 8 hits today, 3 home runs.
Yeah, Minnesota finally, at least to this point.
They tired themselves out of the first 3 games.
Well, I was going to say that they finally found a way to get Jose Ramirez out. He's been effective for the Indians offensively, 5 out of 13 coming into today. But they have held him 0 for 3 in the afternoon finale. Sucks that high in the air. Deep left field. Jose Ramirez, you can't contain him. That's his 6th home run of the year.
How about that? He said he heard you. He must have been listening.
And that makes it 8-2 Indians.
Indians with their 4th homer. Ramirez's 6th. Nice.
Just been so impressed with his play all year long.
Watch him go out and get this pitch. That ball coming into him, down and in, and he loves that pitch down. He stayed on it, stayed through it, and gave it a ride.
So he's got a 9-game hitting streak. Napoli's hit in 6 in a row. Almonte's hit in 6 straight.
Well, we said earlier, the first 3 games, it wasn't a problem of the offense in this series. It's the pitching that is Minnesota beat up on. They were coming from behind, you know, all 3 games in the first 3. Now they were able to get the lead, and then they've been able to add on, and they've done that very well.
Brandon Geyer shoots one up the alley in right center field, and he's got a knock. Extra bases, in fact, as he is 2 for 4 on the afternoon.
It's a nice swing there. Finds a double into right center field. The Indians, I know they want to keep them out in the field all day long.
You got to figure if a guy's had the kind of success that he's had in his career against left-handed pitching, it can't all be just pull power. He's got to be able to use the whole field.
Well, that was a short swing, and that was a changeup away. So that's what you like to see on a pitch like that. You know, the first few swings, when you look at him, it looks like he likes to stay on that back leg and try and pull everything. But there's a nice short swing right there on a ball down and away that he takes to right center.
And that brings up Abraham Almonte. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Takes up and away, ball 1. Swung out and missed. Now the 1-2 offering. Get outside. Two pulls it towards third, cut off by Sano. He'll go to first, and he slings it over there for out number 1. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 20 years ago today, Kenny Lofton made a spectacular catch, one of the best you'll ever see, and we've seen it plenty.
Yes, indeed. I love to see it still. B.J. Surhoff. Back then, the Orioles. What a play. You talk about perfect timing and athleticism and concentration all in one.
One of our faithful followers on Sports Time Ohio, great Indians fans, Joe Jennings, he wanted to fact check and make sure that you weren't fibbing.
About
Glenn Bragg.
Oh yeah, did he go in there and check?
He dug it up and he found a clip on YouTube of Glenn Bragg. I forgot he played for Cincinnati in the 1990 World Series.
Yeah.
Facing Dave Stewart. He swung and missed, and on the follow-through snapped the bat off on his back.
Oh, Broadway JoJo doesn't trust me, huh? You think I'm making up stories? I'm so old, huh, pal?
Now that there's video, a way to video track
Thank you. Yeah. You know what? He's sitting out in L.A. Now you better believe me, JoJo. Yeah, our good friend. He follows us all the time. He doesn't miss a beat. He's having a fun year with watching us.
Yeah. Indians will make one more trip to the West Coast, but it won't be to Southern California.
No.
We'll have to play Oakland.
Well, he took it to one more level.
Yeah, well, that's what the kids do now.
They
put in the search engine. Glenn Bragg, broken bat, boom, there it is.
The first story I told, that's the truth. Thank God he looked that one up.
Here's the 2-1 and a foul back.
But you notice what site he found it on when he was with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs. You know, he came
Postseason
up with
play.
the Brewers.
Oh, yeah.
So I seen him do it in person a number of times. It was unbelievable.
To tell you the truth, I forgot
he was so
even
strong.
part of that
I'm telling
team
you,
in
it was
90s.
unbelievable.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch. Well, just watching that video of the matchup, it's Dave Stewart, who was as big and as bad as anybody back then when he stood on the mound, and Glenn Bragg, who looked like he could snap you.
Oh, he could.
Like he could snap a bat over his leg.
Yeah, he could snap a bat over his leg easily.
Now the payoff pitch. And Roberto Perez draws a one-out walk. Indians are heading to the Big Apple to take on the Yankees this weekend. Josh Tomlin will go to the Hill for the Tribe tomorrow night. Our coverage begins with Indians live at 6:30. Alan Jensen will get it rocking and rolling. First pitch at 7 right here on Sports Time Ohio. We're streaming live with Fox Sports Go. Michael Pineda going for the Bronx Bombers. Here's Rajay Davis. Singled, stole 2, scored on a wild pitch in the 7th. But he is unable to hit. Twins are headed down to Florida to take on those Tampa Bay Rays over the weekend. To short, off the glove of Escobar, and around third, coming home to score is Geyer. 9-2 Cleveland. Rajay with his second straight hit in the ball game. And that'll be RBI number 36 on the year.
Yeah, he went down and got a pitch, off-speed pitch down in the zone and raked it. Went off the leather of Escobar at short, trickled into left field, but Geyer with 2 outs off and running. They put 2 more on the board in the inning, and they're not done yet. Still just 1 out.
Neil Allen, pitching coach, out to talk. Rajay Davis last time up. Base hit up the middle. First pitch, boom, he gone.
On the pitch out, mind you. He pitched out, and then he came back and stole third, and watch this. You talk about manufacturing a run.
Not many guys can score from third on a ball that barely gets off the dirt at home plate.
After he got up, he looked like he started to moonwalk back there, you know, a little backwards.
Little slide step.
Yeah, he did.
That's bang. Well, here's Jason Kipnis has homered, walked, scored twice. His homer in the first came off a left-hander for Santiago. That's 4 homers on the year for Kipnis off lefties. Popped him up. Escobar, the shortstop, in the foul ground. 2 down. Lindor chops one to third. Fair ball. Sano kicks it around. Everybody's safe.
I don't know if he took his
play that we've seen from Minnesota, which is why they have been so bad defensively overall.
Well, they're last in the league, and that's just a play where you have to catch it. You don't even have to throw it. You're going to step on third base to get out of the inning, and it doesn't look like he took his eye off it. He just didn't catch it. It's going to prolong the inning. It'll be an error on Sano. But he had it. They should be out of the inning. That's just one of those plays. You know, this is a Minnesota team that normally they're always a very good defensive team. This year, they are not.
Mike Napoli takes a called strike.
So Knapp gets another chance to try and hit another homer.
Missed inside, and it's 1-1. That first pitch was called a strike, even though Knapp did not think it was and might have been a bit outside. Bases loaded, 2 down. Indians up 7. And a 1-1. I didn't think Mike was even going to get another opportunity to extend that home run streak.
Yep, you never know.
Here he is. Again, it's not something he's.
No, you're right. It's us talking about it more so, but you'd love to see him get it.
Fun to watch.
You know, wind up this homestand, and he's had a great one on a very positive note, and keep the string going. It'd be beautiful. And that's how he's going to have to do it, is a change up away, because he's not going to see anything on the inner part of the plate to swing at. No, this is just us pulling for him. But he does have a couple more ribeyes out there. He doesn't have one of those yet today.
But with 77 on the year, Knapp is 4th in the American League, trailing Albert Pujols, David Ortiz, Edwin Encarnacion, who leads the way. And the 2-2. Just a bit outside and a full count. He didn't get the first call, Napoli, but he gets the benefit that time. Even though those 2 pitches appear to be in the exact same
Well,
spot.
and throw another one out there, and I'll bet he calls it.
Here it is. Struck him out. Indians leave him loaded, but they score 2 more and lead it 9-2 as we go to the 9th.
Over here in the corner, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Well, one of the struggles before the trade deadline for the Tribe was middle relief. When you can bring in Andrew Miller and couple him with Dan Otero, it really changes things.
Well, and it helps too when you have a lead. You know, when these pitchers are able to pitch and attack the way that they have been today, give Rajai Davis a lot of credit. That's a big turning point. But again, who's in the middle? Dan Otero. And how about the wipeout stuff from Andrew Miller?
It was pretty impressive.
Like that he's
up,
on our
4
team.
down. I like it. Don't forget to join us for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Immediately following this one, Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call of the night. Let's head back upstairs. Take it away, fellas.
Thanks, Al. Here in the 9th inning, it will be Ryan Merritt, who made his major league debut back at the end of May against the Rangers and did a terrific job, left-hander. Eric Gonzalez comes on at second base. Bottom third of the order due up here for Minnesota. Ryan Merritt was the Indians' 16th round pick 5 years ago, making him the 488th overall player selected. Line drive caught by Lindor. He took the elevator to the penthouse.
Yeah, timed beautifully. I mean, I thought base hit all the way. No siree. Lindor is in the way of it. Good timing.
That brings up Kurt Suzuki. He has walked, singled, driven in a run, grounded out. Taking it's in for a strike. Curveball hit off the end of the bat. Nice play by Merritt. And the lefty flips it over. 2 down. Pat O'Brien play of the game. Kepler, line drive center field, bases loaded in this situation. Rajai with the catch. Runner was coming home from third, but he caught Mauer off at first to end the inning.
Beautiful play.
And then the Indians came in and scored 3 to make it 4-0.
Yeah, really heads up play by Rajai.
Buxton 0 for 3 on the afternoon. He has fouled out, flied out, struck out. And a nice changeup on Merritt. And way out in front. And so a 1-ball, 2-strike count with everybody up on their feet. A little more than 19,000 coming out to see the Indians on the homestand finale. Pop them up, foul ground. Here comes Santana, but can't quite get to it. at the line, the 1-2. This one's in the air, center field. Rajay makes the catch, and the Indians win it. They finish the homestand with a convincing 9-2 victory over the Minnesota Twins. And if the White Sox hang on to beat the Tigers, the Indians lead in the Central will be back to 3 games. Now they came out and beat them with the bats, but more importantly, the pitching was very good today. And as I said before, while Mike Clevenger did not get deep into the game, he did enough, and the bullpen, wow, they were outstanding.
Well, to me, it's Indians getting an early 4-0 lead is what happened. Kipnis gave him a jump start in the first with his solo home run, and then back in that 3rd inning where they 2 outs, nobody on, boom, 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 a little measly single of a great Napoli walk, and then the 3-run home run by Santana just set everything up. And, you know, they're back in business. So they end up the road trip, or I mean the homestand on the winning note, getting that the win, 5-4. So head out to the road, but a nice game overall.
Tribe now 61-45 on the year, 31-20 at home. Minnesota 43-65. And on the road, Minnesota now 20-33. The final score is Cleveland 9, Minnesota 2. We'll have some final thoughts right after this.